Welcome to Hong Kong Brief. The content of the briefing includes: Meet 5 Hongkongers blazing a Middle East trail in areas from jewels to energy. Sustainability firms eyeing Hong Kong plastic waste reduction struggle to scale up. Philippines lifts tsunami alert after magnitude 7.4 earthquake in Mindanao. Decolonize the Nobel Prize to truly celebrate human knowledge. The acclaimed dermatologist known as Little Stevie Wonder. Meet 5 Hongkongers blazing a Middle East trail in areas from jewels to energy. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong entrepreneurs are heading to the Middle East to take advantage of the region's growing opportunities. The Gulf states are seeking to diversify their economies and reduce their reliance on oil and gas, creating new business prospects for Hong Kong-based companies. However, entrepreneurs in the region also face challenges such as cultural differences and unique ways of doing business. Despite this, many remain positive about the region's prospects, although they would like more government support on the ground to help navigate the challenges. The Hong Kong Middle East Business Chamber has been set up to bridge the cultural and knowledge gap between the two regions. The Chamber has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Dubai Multi-Commodities Center to strengthen exchanges between the two areas. Hong Kong architect James Law has made a name for himself in the Middle East after designing a 26-story building in Dubai called the Pad. His firm, Cybertecture, is now working on projects in Riyadh and Neom, Saudi Arabia, and is focusing on creating sustainable, decentralized urban communities. Sustainability firms eyeing Hong Kong plastic waste reduction struggle to scale up. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong-based sustainable materials firms Weplastic and FMC Manufacturing are facing challenges in scaling up their businesses to reduce the city's plastic waste. Weplastic recycles 200 tons of polyethylene terephthalate (rPET) flakes into rPET granules per month and upcycles them into different products. One of Weplastic's challenges is the capital investment needed to maintain inventory. FMC Manufacturing produces biodegradable resin from plant-based starch, which can be made into compostable bags and other packaging materials. The resin costs between 15,000 Chinese yuan, $2,105, and 18,000 Chinese yuan per metric ton, but is best used to replace single-use disposable plastics. Philippines lifts tsunami alert after magnitude 7.4 earthquake in Mindanao. South China Morning Post. The Philippines has lifted a tsunami alert that was issued after a magnitude 7.4 earthquake caused waves off the country's south coast. No casualties or serious damage were initially reported from the quake, which struck Mindanao. The area is less populated than other parts of the country. Over 500 aftershocks were recorded after the quake, with the country's Institute of Volcanology and Seismology urging caution as residents resumed normal activities. Decolonize the Nobel Prize to truly celebrate human knowledge. SCMP opinion. The Nobel Prize should transform itself into a symbol that reflects the diverse contributions of intellectuals from around the world, rather than being dominated by Western laureates, according to Dr. Young Sop On, a political economist and information scientist. On argues that the Nobel Prize still bears the influence of Western imperialism, which has historically shaped the dominance of Western nations in science, literature, economics, and the promotion of peace. To align with its founder Alfred Nobel's vision, On says the prize should become more inclusive and representative of global intellectual achievements. The acclaimed dermatologist known as Little Stevie Wonder. The Sydney Morning Herald. Stephen Kai-Yim Lee, a renowned dermatologist and educator, has passed away at the age of 75. Born in mainland China, Lee moved to Hong Kong with his family as an infant. He excelled academically and was offered a scholarship to complete his secondary education in Sydney, Australia. He went on to study medicine at the University of Sydney, graduating with first-class honours in 1974. Li became a Fellow of the Australasian College of Dermatologists in 1981 and established a successful practice in Sydney. He also served as a visiting medical officer and head of the dermatology department at Royal Prince Alfred Hospital and Concord Hospital. Li made significant contributions to the Australian Medical Association, becoming the first dermatologist to represent his specialty on the AMA Federal Council. He was also a respected clinical teacher and mentor to dermatology trainees and medical students. In recognition of his contributions, Li received an Order of Australia Award in 2009. Despite suffering from progressive kidney failure in his later years, Li continued to care for patients and teach until his death. Want to rent an affordable flat in a former pop-up COVID hospital? South China Morning Post. An abandoned makeshift hospital in Beijing that was used during the COVID-19 pandemic has been transformed into low-rent housing. The facility, known as the Colorful Community, was originally built in July 2022 in just 20 days to accommodate COVID-19 patients. When the pandemic eased, the temporary hospitals were left empty. In September 2022, the local government in Beijing converted the Colorful Community into affordable housing, sparking debate on Chinese social media. While some praised the move, others said it brought back traumatic memories of the strict zero-COVID policies that affected livelihoods and movement. The conversion of the makeshift hospitals into housing poses a challenge for local governments, as it is costly to transform the buildings. It is estimated that building the makeshift hospitals involved 19.5 billion yuan, $2.7 billion, in local government debt. The Colorful Community is now home to individuals such as takeaway workers, rideshare drivers, construction workers, and university students. Evergrande faces final chance to avoid liquidation by HK Court. Bloomberg. China Evergrande Group, the world's most indebted developer, is facing a court hearing in Hong Kong on Monday over a creditor request to wind up the company. Evergrande must convince the judge that it has a concrete debt restructuring plan, or it will likely face liquidation. A group of offshore creditors is demanding controlling equity stakes in Evergrande and its 2 Hong Kong-listed units. Evergrande, which has liabilities of about $327 billion, has become the poster child of China's real estate debt crisis since it defaulted in December 2021. Visit by astronauts a mission for the future. SCMP opinion. Chinese astronauts recently visited Hong Kong and Macau, marking the first time in over a decade that Chinese astronauts have visited Hong Kong. The visit included meetings with students, academics, and tech representatives, as well as attending a welcome banquet and a variety show. The visit has boosted scientific development in the city and fostered a greater sense of national identity and patriotism. Hong Kong's participation in national aerospace development has been acknowledged by China's Manned Space Agency, and there is hope that a Hong Kong astronaut could join China's ranks in the future. Hong Kong's public libraries must adapt if they are to survive and flourish. SCMP opinion. Hong Kong's public libraries are struggling to recover from the pandemic, with a decline in visitor numbers compared to pre-pandemic levels. Libraries worldwide are facing similar challenges as people increasingly access information digitally. To adapt and thrive, libraries need to embrace technology, upgrade facilities, and create a welcoming environment to shed their reputation as boring and outdated. Steps have been taken to modernize Hong Kong's libraries, but there is still room for improvement. The use of libraries for community activities and the demand for e-books during the pandemic are positive developments that should be capitalized on. Libraries can provide a comfortable and relaxing space for people to expand their knowledge and play a vital role in education, culture, and information. Hong Kong and China scholars and students need to be heard. Nikkei Asia. Academics in Hong Kong and mainland China are facing increasing pressure to self-censor and avoid criticizing the Chinese Communist Party, CCP. This pressure has resulted in a high turnover rate of academics in Hong Kong, with 361 leaving the city's publicly funded universities in 2022. Many academics are motivated to stay or return to Hong Kong or mainland China due to family, career, or attachment to the city, so they resort to self-censorship to maintain their legal, social, and economic ties to the region. Chinese graduate students overseas also express critical views under pseudonyms or anonymously, particularly in academic publications and the media. However, these scholars and students tend to represent the values of educated Chinese people, which are politically liberal, pro-market, and non-nationalistic. To support academics still working in Hong Kong or mainland China, online forums such as the Heterodox East Asia Community and its U.S. affiliate, the Heterodox Academy, aim to provide outlets for the safe expression of public criticism of CCP policies and practices. The article argues that Western democracies should increase opportunities for Chinese nationals to study and work in their countries, as long as they respect the laws of their host nation, and should invite scholars and students from Hong Kong and mainland China to share their voices in public forums and academic journals with appropriate safeguards and protections. Hong Kong's Cathay Pacific becomes top corporate sponsor of West Kowloon Arts Hub. South China Morning Post. Cathay Pacific Airways has become the largest corporate sponsor of Hong Kong's West Kowloon Cultural District in a 3-year collaboration. The partnership will see Cathay Pacific transport artworks from mainland China and around the world to Hong Kong for exhibitions. The airline will also support the travel of local artists abroad and promote the activities of the Arts Hub to attract tourists. Cathay Pacific CEO Ronald Lam Shupor said the airline was already responsible for delivering many of the works on display at the Hong Kong Palace Museum and M+. The sponsorship will help with the hub's overall revenue, which includes corporate backing in addition to ticket sales. Market indicators show Hong Kong still brilliant global financial center, John Lee. South China Morning Post. Despite concerns over Hong Kong's appeal as an international financial center, Chief Executive John Lee Kok-yew has stated that market indicators show the city remains a leading financial hub. Lee highlighted the rebound in the stock exchange's market capitalization, the increase in northbound transaction volumes of the Bond Connect scheme, and the rise in the value of new insurance policy premiums as evidence of Hong Kong's strength. He also announced plans to visit Europe to explore business opportunities for the city. Sobe stuns women's world number 1 Elle Sherbini to set up Hong Kong Open title shot. South China Morning Post. American squash player Amanda Sobe defeated women's world number 1 Noor Elle Sherbini in the semifinals of the Hong Kong Squash Open. Sobe won in straight games, playing some of her best squash and showcasing excellent movement. She praised the atmosphere of the outdoor glass court and said that playing in the unique venue had helped raise her game. She will face defending champion Hania El Hammami in the final. In the men's event, world number 1 Ali Farag advanced to the final and will face Paul Call. National security studies are going mainstream. Will it breed a new Chinese elite? South China Morning Post. China is expanding its focus on national security by establishing national security studies departments in universities across the country. This move reflects China's long-term strategy to improve knowledge and talent in the national security field amid increasing geopolitical tensions with the US-led West. The goal is to develop a new class of security personnel and create an apparatus to support them, which will fundamentally refocus the mindset and approach to governance by Chinese officials. The education sector is being used to extend the overall influence of the security drive and raise national security awareness among the general public. However, some experts argue that the establishment of the new discipline reflects the insecurity of the Communist Party and its perceived external threats rather than an actual danger to China's national security. The National Security Studies departments at Chinese universities cover various aspects of security, including political, territorial, military, economic, cultural, cybersecurity, and financial security. Each department is designed to leverage the traditional strengths of the university and focus on security matters relevant to its region. However, there are concerns that the broad concept of comprehensive national security could result in a securitized view of China's relationship with the world and hinder its domestic development and international cooperation. China's push for national security education reflects its desire to ensure its survival amid elevated geopolitical tensions. By establishing national security studies departments in universities, China aims to develop a new class of security personnel and create an apparatus to support them. However, there are concerns about the potential implications of this shift, including a securitized view of China's relationship with the world and a focus on self-reliance that could hinder its domestic development and international cooperation. What happens when nature and cities collide? Yahoo! Beavers have returned to West London and could help to prevent flooding after heavy rainfall. More than half the world's population live in urban areas, but thriving ecosystems exist beneath our feet, and embracing urban nature can be a powerful force for change. Cape Town's baboons are at greater risk of conflict with humans, since the encroachment of suburbs on their feeding grounds has led them to rummage through garbage cans and backyards. The city has taken steps to keep baboons away from Cape Town's outskirts and in their natural hillside habitat. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your favorite Six Doctor here, bringing you the latest news from the six-dimensional world. Today, we've got a diverse range of stories, from Hong Kong entrepreneurs making their mark in the Middle East, to the challenges faced by sustainability firms in Hong Kong, and the lifting of a tsunami alert in the Philippines. We'll also discuss the need to decolonize the Nobel Prize, pay tribute to a renowned dermatologist, and explore the transformation of a makeshift COVID hospital into affordable housing in Beijing. And of course, we can't forget the latest on China's Evergrande Group and the visit by Chinese astronauts to Hong Kong. Lastly, we'll touch on the struggles faced by Hong Kong's public libraries, the pressure on academics in Hong Kong and mainland China to self-censor, and the partnership between Cathay Pacific Airways and Hong Kong's West Kowloon Cultural District. Phew, that's a lot to cover, so let's dive in. First up, we have Hong Kong entrepreneurs blazing a trail in the Middle East. The Gulf states are looking to diversify their economies, creating new opportunities for Hong Kong-based companies. However, they do face challenges such as cultural differences and unique ways of doing business. Nevertheless, many remain positive about the region's prospects. Personally, I think it's great to see Hong Kong entrepreneurs exploring new markets and creating partnerships across different regions. It shows the resilience and adaptability of Hong Kong's business community. Next, we have the struggles faced by sustainability firms in Hong Kong. Plastic and FMC manufacturing are working to reduce the city's plastic waste, but they face challenges in scaling up their businesses. From capital investment to finding alternatives to single-use plastics, these firms are fighting an uphill battle. However, their efforts are crucial in tackling the plastic waste problem, and I applaud their commitment to sustainability. Let's hope they receive the support they need to expand their operations and make a real impact. Moving on to the Philippines, a tsunami alert was lifted after a magnitude 7.4 earthquake. Thankfully, there were no casualties or serious damage reported. It's a reminder of the unpredictable nature of natural disasters and the importance of preparedness. Let's hope the residents of Mindanao remain vigilant and take precautions in case of any future earthquakes. Now, let's talk about the need to decolonize the Nobel Prize. Dr. Young Sopon argues that the prize should reflect the diverse contributions of intellectuals from around the world, rather than being dominated by Western laureates. On believes that the Nobel Prize still carries the influence of Western imperialism, and it's time to make it more inclusive and representative of global intellectual achievements. I couldn't agree more. It's high time we recognize and celebrate the intellectual contributions of individuals from all corners of the world. On a somber note, we bid farewell to renowned dermatologist Stephen Kai-Yim Lee. His contributions to the field of dermatology and his dedication to patient care and education will be sorely missed. Rest in peace, Dr. Lee, and thank you for your invaluable contributions. In Beijing, an abandoned makeshift hospital has been transformed into low-rent housing. The conversion of these facilities poses challenges for local governments, but it's a creative solution to repurpose the buildings and provide affordable housing. However, it also brings back memories of the strict zero-COVID policies that affected livelihoods and movement. It's a reminder that the pandemic has had far-reaching consequences beyond health. Now let's turn our attention to China's Evergrande Group, which is facing a court hearing in Hong Kong. The company must convince the judge that it has a concrete debt restructuring plan, or it may face liquidation. This is a critical moment for Evergrande, and the outcome will have significant implications for China's real estate market. Let's hope a viable solution can be reached to avoid further disruptions. In a positive development, Chinese astronauts recently visited Hong Kong and Macau, fostering a greater sense of national identity and patriotism. Hong Kong's participation in national aerospace development has been recognized, and there is hope that a Hong Kong astronaut could join China's ranks in the future. It's exciting to see Hong Kong's contribution to space exploration and the possibilities that lie ahead. Now, let's talk about the struggles faced by Hong Kong's public libraries. Visitor numbers have declined, and libraries worldwide are facing similar challenges in the digital age. To survive and thrive, libraries need to embrace technology, upgrade facilities, and create a welcoming environment. But let's not forget the unique role that libraries play in education, culture, and information. They're not just dusty old buildings, they're vital community spaces that foster learning and discovery. Speaking of challenges, academics in Hong Kong and mainland China are facing increasing pressure to self-censor and avoid criticizing the Chinese Communist Party, CCP. This has led to a high turnover rate of academics in Hong Kong. It's a concerning trend that stifles academic freedom and limits the diversity of voices and perspectives. It's crucial that we create safe spaces for scholars and students to express their views and engage in meaningful discussions. In a positive move, Cathay Pacific Airways has become the largest corporate sponsor of Hong Kong's West Kowloon Cultural District. This partnership will support the arts hub and promote cultural exchange. It's wonderful to see a collaboration between a major airline and the arts community, showcasing the importance of the arts in our society. Lastly, we have Chief Executive John Lee Ka-chiu assuring us that Hong Kong remains a leading financial hub. Despite concerns, market indicators show that the city is still brilliant. The rebound in the stock exchange's market capitalization and the increase in transaction volumes are positive signs. It's crucial for Hong Kong to maintain its status as a global financial center and explore new business opportunities. Well, that's all the news I have for you today, folks. It's been a whirlwind of stories, from entrepreneurs making their mark in the Middle East to the challenges faced by Hong Kong's public libraries. I hope you found these stories as fascinating as I did. Don't forget to share your thoughts and questions in the comments section. I'm eager to hear what you all think. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep exploring the six-dimensional world. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.